You know, one of the things that Multisite causes you to ask yourself is, do we really have what it takes to fulfill Multisite and to do it well? There's a lot of churches out there that do it so good. And so we ask ourselves as organizations, what's it gonna take? What does it take to go Multisite? Well, there's 4 simple things. I wanna move through them quickly. The first is a clear mission and vision, and I touched on this a little bit earlier. But for churches, sometimes this is very hard because churches are birthed out of a visionary mind and a visionary calling, and visionaries lend to a lot of ideas, and that's great because that's what makes them unique and what makes them powerful. But a clear mission and a clear vision is critical. You know, if I can mention a couple of the food chains out there, you know, Taco Bell does, mediocre at best tacos, but that's what they do. You know, the different burger franchises out there, like a McDonald's or an In-N-Out on the West Coast or a Steak and Shake in the South of the Midwest, and I'm getting hungry talking about it right now. They do hamburgers, and that's what they do. They specialize in that. And in the discovery process that we went through when I was the director of Multisites at The Rock, we started to have to ask ourselves some serious questions about what do we really want to focus on in the mission and the vision of our church. We had an evangelistic outreach organization. We had a community impact piece that was large within our church. We have multiple generational ministries functioning and 120 plus outreach ministries. And we had to say, do we duplicate all of that? And it causes you to ask some really hard questions. And my bottom line response to that is you've got to get laser focused as a ministry and prioritize your top 3 to 5 and say, this is who we are, and this is our mission, and this is how we're gonna clarify those, which moves us into the second piece, which is prioritizing your organizational focus. You got to have a clear mission and vision, then you have to prioritize your organizational focus. So what is it that we do really well? Because that's what you want to focus on in duplicating who you are as a ministry. It sometimes causes us to really look hard at the things that we do in a ministry environment, and it may require you to sacrifice some things for the greater good of fulfilling your ultimate mission and vision. Prioritizing organizational focus. And the third thing is duplicatable systems and assets. Man, this is tough because this requires a pretty good amount of organizational structure and systems, and then defining what your assets are. So your duplicatable systems, very simple things from how we organize our Sunday or our worship experience. How do our generational ministries function? What are our brand duplication pinpoints? You know, our logos, our branding assets. Duplicatable systems, how you do church the way you do it. How does your hospitality or your ushers or your greeters function? What's the process that you take a new ministry startup through in order to be an existing ministry? Your duplicatable systems, of course, your accounting and how you take your offerings and the way offering is counted and all the different accounting pieces and the business side of ministry. Everything has to be duplicatable. So duplicatable systems, and then assets are the simple things like duplicating the messages and the brand experience and your logos and your colors and the design of your buildings, and all those things begin to be explored. And do we really love the color of that wall, or can we get rid of it? You know, do we really like the color of our chairs? Or all those simple questions begin to be asked. And then the last piece is the financial investment. And I'll call it an investment. You know, many of you that may be watching this have a retirement account of some kind. And you know that you put into that account on a monthly or a bi-monthly or bi-weekly basis, and you don't expect to be able to retire on that next month. You know that it's going to take time for that investment to build. And building Multisite really needs to be approached the same way. You need to understand as a ministry that it is a financial investment that reap rewards over time, but most of the time the rewards are not immediate. And so it's okay to have an understanding with your accounting team, with those that invest in your ministry, that you're not going to get the exponential results immediately, but it will come with time. But it requires a financial investment on the front end. But I can tell you this, that Multisite done well is an extremely effective way to do ministry, and the investment is well worth the rate of return that you get with time.